Extermination number 5, written by Ed Brisson, art by Pepe Larraz. This is the exciting conclusion to this event that's been going on for a few months, and this overall Young X-Men story that started with Brian Michael Bendis many years ago. They're finally sending the Young X-Men back home. So this one sees the continued war between this Ahab and his hounds, and they're fighting Young Cable, the Young X-Men, and the regular old-aged X-Men. They're all battling it up. Now, last issue, it looks like young Cyclops died. He got stabbed, and it looks like he was dead. So, and if he dies, the young X-Men can't go back because they need all of them to go back in order for things to be set right. But it turns out that that was just a fake out. And it was actually this throwaway X-Men named Mimic who looked like Cyclops, and he's the one that actually died last issue. And young Cyclops is still alive and doing well. I don't know, this little fake out is a little bit annoying, but whatever. So all the young X-Men are there. They're talking to young Cable, and young Cable's like, dude, you guys need to go back. You've seen the future. You've seen how it's messed up. You guys need to go back and set everything right. Eventually, he convinces them to do that. So the young X-Men get sent back to the exact moment when they were taken to the future many years ago in Brian Michael Bendis' run. They're back in the Xavier Mansion, and Jean Grey kind of wipes all their minds so they don't have any recollection of all these events that has transpired over the last few years. And by doing that, they have sort of righted the world. And in the main continuity with all the older X-Men, we're back there now. The young X-Men are gone, and everything goes sort of like back to normal. This Ahab and his hounds sort of start being defeated. They can't continue anymore, and everything is resolved, and it's kind of like this happy ending. And finally, the young X-Men are back home. So, you know, a good conclusion to that. So we see all the X-Men in the current time, the older X-Men, they're talking, they're discussing, and they're reminiscing. And then we have this young Cable. He's time shifting a bit more. Time, you know, he's always messing with the time stream, right? But by the young X-Men going back, apparently it has shifted the timeline in such a way, spoilers coming, for any of you who haven't read this issue, it's shifted it in such a way that Scott Summers, the older Cyclops, he died many years ago in this Death of X storyline, but because of all this changing in the time stream, he's now back alive. This issue ends with young Cable saying, "It's time for you to come back, Dad." And we see this splash page of Cyclops. I'm liking this. I'm liking that part of the story because I never really agreed or liked when they killed Cyclops off. So I'm excited to have him back. Although whenever characters come back from the dead, it always feels a little bit cheap. You know, does death really matter in comics? But nevertheless, I'm happy with this direction. I'm happy that the young X-Men are back where they are and they're no longer going to be in the storylines because it was getting a little bit confusing and messy. And now we're just going to have one set of X-Men, so that's good. And overall, I kind of like this event. It wasn't the best writing per se. It was a little messy and confusing sometimes. But I like the resolution we have in this issue and the resolution that this event delivered. It definitely delivered on its promise of finishing the storyline with the young X-Men and sort of changing the status quo going forward. I would give this issue a 7.5 out of 10. Not too bad. Pretty good stuff.